Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we are in this idyllic, beautiful park. Maybe it's a secret garden, but it is within a park. And in fact, we are going to touch base on the top 10 perfumes to wear while strolling through the park, walking through nature, manipulated by human touch, because obviously a park is not just a forest, it's not just the woods, it's a park, and parks are made by humans. But it is a place for us to kind of retreat, enjoy time in nature, while at the same time either walking with loved ones, with a partner, with family members, or on your own, finding a nice bench to sit on and read a book, or a magazine, or just watch people strolling by. So a park can be in the middle of the city. It can also be a little bit in the outskirts, but it's a beautiful moment where it's kind of like you're surrounded by life, but you get a chance to be on your own. That's kind of the vibe that parks have. They're very intimate. You can also, of course, meet people in a park. There's cruising areas in a park as well. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can happen in a park. And what perfumes to wear while you are in a park? Well, here's my top 10 list. So before we get to it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. Superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week on my main Superdacob YouTube channel, so come join me there and let's have some fun together. A hi to my co-chattors. Mahora already in the chat saying, not a top 10 cruising perfumes list. No. Although, it's up to your interpretation. If that's what you need, by all means, go for it, honey. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. And it is my opinion that nature is tricky. It's very straightforward technically, but we are kind of used to and indoctrinated, especially city people, to kind of, I don't want to say fear nature, but we like to observe nature from the outside, sometimes forgetting that we are a part of nature. We cannot observe it from the outside. So we see nature as if it were not pertaining to us, when in reality we are one with nature. So sometimes we also tend to forget that going to the park means you will get in contact with insects, animals. I'm very well aware of the fact that in summer, when it's really hot outside, there's all sorts of insects and birds and other animals that are potentially in this idyllic environment. So wearing a perfume can be tricky, because if it's a particularly floral or sweet accord, you might attract bees, wasps, flies, all sorts of animals and insects. It might not be very fun for you to wear a perfume in the park. However, we also know from science that, for example, one of nature's natural mosquito repellents is lemon or citruses. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I've compiled a list for all sorts of events, like if it's going through the park in winter, spring, summer. There's a lot, in winter, there's not a lot of insects. They're usually all frozen or sleeping. So it's kind of like dormant, not sleeping, or hibernating, or the eggs have been laid and they haven't hatched yet because it isn't spring yet. So everything is more subdued. So in winter, for example, I can go in a soft direction. Like in winter, I like the idea of combating the cold, frozen nature around me with a perfume that smells of human-made synthetic nature. This is a great one try it. I've tried it several times and it just really hits the spot. Try it out and then let me know. And that would be Clash Chlorophyll Gardenia by Comme des Garçons. So, chlorophyll, which is a typical thing we find in spring. And here I am telling you to try this out in winter in a park. It is a highly, heavily floral, sweet concoction. You don't want to wear this in the park in summer, but in winter, oof, it hits the spot, and no bugs are coming to you in winter. In summer, I think you might be an attraction for insects if you wear this one in the park in summer. But in winter, chlorophyll gardenia clash. Literally, it's a clash because in winter you're wearing a summery type of scent, and it's very cold. It allows you to focus and be very precisely there with yourself. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you are in nature, you are in a park, and a park for me is a place where, yes, you can connect, but it's also a place where you isolate, meditate, you're with yourself. Not necessarily on a day when you want to read a book in the park. Also, it might be too cold to sit on a bench in winter, but you're walking and strolling through nature, envisioning how it's going to be once spring comes along and life starts bursting from all of these frozen branches, unless you're not surrounded by evergreens, which is a different type of plant altogether, but you know what I mean. Oh, such a beauty. I mean, the gardenia note in here, is very synthetic, obviously, like all gardenia notes, but it's a human-made natural fragrance, right? Just like a park is coordinated by humans. So it's a beautiful blend of natural and artificial, which I love very much. Now, you know, walking through the park as the sun is setting is a magical experience, especially in bigger parks where you can kind of go deeper into them. And when you go deeper into a park, you fade out the noises from the streets and the cars, that if the park is in a city and not in the outskirts. So you kind of, a park is a beautiful sound filter. All of the nature absorbs the sounds of the outside, so you get this peace. And then when the sun is setting, you also get that beautiful light that covers nature. And there's almost like a humming sound of nature when the sun goes down. And that is the perfect time for any vampire to come out to play and wear. L'heure bleue, the blue hour, or when the sun is setting, by Guerlain. Look at the beauty. Look, even in this particular version of the bottle for L'heure bleue went through several iterations of bottles with Guerlain. But this one fits so beautifully in this landscape right now. You know, look at that. Ah, it just fits. So beautiful to wear this one while you're strolling through the park as the sun is setting and you're about to go back home, or you're about to meet up with friends and you're gonna go to dinner together. You're gonna have an aperitif first, and then you're gonna go for dinner. And it's a beautiful reset. It's like a clock that resets and prepares you for the night. There's a sadness in acknowledging that one day has passed and you got one day less in your life to live. It's over. You know, there's another day tomorrow, but the day that is now passing is going to be gone forever. There's no going back. And acknowledging that, it gives you a sense of calm, but also a sense of sadness. You're excited for something new that's about to begin tomorrow, but you're also sad for something that you have today that is ending, and you're losing what you have today in order to gain what you're going to get tomorrow. But L'heure bleue is really beautiful in defining exactly that moment, and to experience that moment in nature, even though that nature is kind of altered by human hands, because the park is also made by men and women, by mankind. It sets the tone so perfectly. So this is a stroll through a park at sunset, dusk. L'heure bleue by Guerlain. This is the eau de parfum that I have here. Now, for more warm scenario in summer, okay, spring or summer, this perfume is just incredible for really not just going through the park, but any natural setting. Um, I want to say, you know, if I were to compile a cologne list of my favorite fragrances, this one would be in it for sure. At the top of the list, really. I mean, I just, oh, this is so good. And that would be Chanel's Eau de Cologne. Um, what a neroli bergamot masterpiece. Mm. Yeah, this is on another level. This is almost kind of like a spiritual experience to wear this in nature in general, but especially in a park. Highly recommend wearing this in a park that's in the middle of the city. You know, I envision I envision wearing this Manhattan. Yeah, Central Park. So beautiful. I mean, this thing is elegant. The quality of it. Oh my God. It doesn't last long. Doesn't matter. For whatever it lasts, it's like insanely beautiful. From the bergamot to that neroli, a smidge of vanilla maybe, but not even. But there's a warmth to this thing that just gives you, it cradles you, you know, and it allows you to be very, very chill with nature, but at the same time being aware of the fact that um, you know, you have a life in the city or you have a life outside of nature as well. But this is a great one to wear while you're, let's say, on a date in a park. You're walking. It can be a friendly date, or you know, with your lover or family member, just like with somebody, walking through the park with somebody. And I, in particular, on a date, because this thing just makes you smell within a park scenario so attractive. Uh, because it just, it's elevated. It's that beautiful blend of how mankind has learned to interpret nature through perfumes. And by interpreting nature, it manipulates it as well. It gives it that human touch. And when you give nature a human touch, that's poetry. You turn it into poetry. This is literally poetry. Wearing this in a park setting is just mind blowing to me. Man, oh man. Eau de Cologne by Chanel. Now, you know, mine is a couple of years old. This is batch code, oh boy, 0301. So this one is like 10 years old. Still beautiful. It just smells a little bit deeper now, but I people have been complaining that this one is kind of, you know, reformulated in its current state. It's weaker than it used to be. So I would have to, and I will be getting a new bottle of this one soon, because I really want to refresh my batches, and I want to get a new one. So I'll, you know, I might make a updated review when I get a new bottle of eau de cologne. But if, and I fingers crossed it's still really good. If it smells anything like this one, then I'm all for it. For the new one, I mean. So that's my number 3. My number 4 is also very good for the summer. It will cool you down. It will cover up your own sweat and smell, and it will also prevent you from getting too many, you know, mosquitoes or insects. At least I would hope so. But everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. And here is my number 4. I adore this in summer, walking through the park, sitting on a bench, reading a good book, and just freshening myself up as I turn the pages. Actually, I also like to perfume the book that I'm reading with this one. And yes, it is green and the green screen messes it up, but it is 4711. Maybe at a different angle you can see it better. No. It's the original Cologne. Well, not, it's the old school Cologne, 4711. Napoleon, they say, used to wear it. It's really hard to see because of green. Number 4711, 4711. The Cologne water. I have here a little spray bottle. Oof. Love, 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 love this one. So, Cologne, bergamot, citruses, lemons, clean, lasts 5 seconds on the skin, and then you got to freshen up again, but it just makes you feel clean. And it is so beautiful to wear this while you're chilling on your own in a park in nature, summer or spring. It's just really, really that good. And also, really nice on a date as well. It's not complicated. You don't always want to complicate stuff if you're out and about in nature. I mean, if we're talking cruising, I think this one is also quite good for that. If you really want to. To each their own. The next one is a spiritual experience while you're in a park and you look at the birds, you listen to the birds, you listen to the bees, the bumblebees humming, flying around you. Maybe there's a little bit of water in the park, like a little pond or a little tiny river, and you hear the water. You listen to the leaves moving in the air, in the breeze, or a slight little wind, the clouds passing above you. There's no buildings around you to block the view of the sky. It's a beautiful day, or maybe slightly gray of a day, but that's fine too. This is the perfume for that moment to wear while you're walking through the park. And best time would be early to mid fall, autumn. Incense Avignon by Comme des Garçons from the Incense series. It's just amazing. Okay, this incense accord is really for that contemplative state of mind while you're observing nature, but you're in the middle of the city again, Central Park, Hyde Park, if you want a little bit of London vibes. Very, very, very reflective and somber. It's a moment. It's like it takes you to church in nature. I do believe that parks in many ways are almost like take the religious out of it, but keep the spiritual in it. Okay. Parks are almost like man-made churches for nature. You know what I mean? So this kind of takes you to that natural church into the park. I love wearing Avignon autumn in the park. It just makes me contemplate, think, admire nature, just embrace the fact that it's all a miracle that we're even alive. What were the chances in this endless universe that like you of all people would be created and you're here now and you're given power of thought, conscience, and wow, just amazing. And this kind of underlines that, it just enhances that, acknowledging it, but also the gratefulness of it all. Really beautiful. Incense has that power in general, but in a park, Avignon, oof, just amazing. So that was number 5. Number 6, similar in that respect, but more for spring, but the effect is quite similar. Although maybe a little bit more sophisticated because the ingredients are a little bit more sophisticated than the ingredients used for the Comme des Garçons perfume. And that would be Bois d'Argent by Christian Dior. Again, incense accord. Again, now very contemplative, but we have honey in here, and it's not a dirty honey. Usually honey in perfumes can go a little dirty. I don't mind it at all. I love honey in perfumes, and I think sometimes the dirtier the better. Not in here. This is a very clean, crisp honey incense accord, okay? Myrrh, to be precise. Myrrh. Mm. Oh, this is so beautiful. You could also wear this in autumn, not just in spring. But spring, it's like a cold spring. You're still you should still wear a coat when you go out. This is early evening, so the parks are a little bit more cold than the city. The city, there's heat of the cars and buildings next to you, so there's it's a little bit warmer in the city. But the park, you know, it's colder. There's less external heating factors that kind of warm it up. So you're wearing your coat. I'm envisioning a trench coat or a tweed longer coat with a scarf, very, very elegant, very dapper. And you have a very important thing to tell the person you're walking with through the park, and you're wearing this, and they take you more seriously. I feel like every time I wear Bois d'Argent, I am taken seriously. It's when I wear it out and about in social gatherings and social environments. Like, this perfume does the job for you in many respects because it adds that extra layer and texture of respect, taking one more seriously. It's just amazing. And Bois d'Argent really allows you to focus, and it allows your interlocutor, whoever you're talking with or to also focus. It's such a focal perfume uh, in a respectful way. So it helps you be more one with nature within a park setting, and walking together with the person that you're intrigued by. It can also be a spy movie. This is perfection for the spy. You know, the two spies meeting in the park. They got to exchange information. So they sit on a bench. They don't look at each other, but they just kind of talk. They're kind of observing, but they're talking to each other and they're exchanging information. And in the only thing that they don't touch each other, they don't hug each other. They're supposed to act like they don't know each other. They're sitting next to each other on the bench by accident. But the only thing that touches between them is the perfume, because you're wearing it, but the person you're talking to smells it on you. So the perfume touches them. And oh, Bois d'Argent. It's perfect for a classic old school spy movie in the park. The spies meeting in the park would wear Bois d'Argent. In my movie, they would, okay? In my movie and in my book, they would. That's the one. That's the one. Now, high summer, you want to get no insects on you, but you want to smell good in a park. I highly recommend this one. Chanel's Paris Biarritz from the Lezo collection. We got a ton of Lily of the Valley, and like a dry bergamot and lemony accord. So this is very, very gentle, soft, does not linger in the air. This is an in and out type of fragrance, okay? And bugs should not be bothering you too much if you wear this in summer. That's why I kind of selected this one. It's a beauty. If you do want it to last more, you should purchase the body lotion from Paris Biarritz. You know, they also did the shower gel. The shower gel is nice as well, but I think if you want to enhance the lasting power, you really should combine the body lotion with the perfume. In this case, it works really well. But I kind of like the ethereal nature of this one, and the fact that it kind of comes and goes. It's a very short-lived. In fact, I don't think they should have called this an eau de toilette concentration. This should have been a cologne from the get-go. Lily of the Valley. Yes, it's a flower. Poisonous one at that. But I don't think this one would attract insects. Tipa says, "How will I know it's you?" And the other spy answers, "I will be wearing Bois d'Argent." And voila. I mean, it's such a scene from a movie, isn't it? It can be a romantic setting. It can be a spy setting. Ah, espionage, darling, espionage. Yana says Biarritz is beautiful with Le Lion in summer. It enhances the bergamot of the lion. Interesting point. But I would not wear Le Lion in a park. It's not going to end well, in my opinion. You're gonna. It's a bit much for a natural setting like a park, I think, Le Lion. Well, I mean, you never know. Maybe for some people it's fine. For me, it would be a little bit much. But anyway, Paris Biarritz. Now, the next one is super fascinating because, well, when I reviewed this perfume, I talked about walking through a forest and nature while wearing it. And you should go check out that review because it portrays it's a longer vision of a walk and things you see. But I can tell you, this is number 8. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 8. This one, it's dangerous, okay, but this it's such a strange perfume. It's so powerful. It's so obnoxious in many ways, but it's also so natural smelling. It's a Chypre, okay? You want the Chypre, and this one smells so natural, but at the same time so man-made, just like a park. I mean, we have plants and natural growing, things, plants, insects, animals, but it's all kind of coordinated and set up by man. And this perfume is just like a park. Actually, this perfume is the park perfume. Like, you wear this perfume and you become the park. There you go. There you go. Yeah, Mahora guested. Aromatics Elixir, baby, by Clinique. Okay? Woo, cha. Listen, I mean, this is nature in a bottle, but at the same time, it is manipulated by man. This is very fascinating. It's a very, very fascinating dry Chypre, but also, well, green. Chypre is usually green. There's an ambery vibe in it. It's spicy. You know, why I say this is the park, because there's nature in here, but there's also garbage. Somebody has also thrown a can in the corner. Somebody has smoked a cigarette and there's still they just dropped it somewhere in the ground. And then it rained and then the cigarette got all sogged up and you can still see it when you walk by through the park and you see the garbage and all those influences, but they are comforting. They're not disgusting. In a weird way, they comfort you because you're walking through the park and these things remind you of life, of like human life. Yes, we loiter and litter and we're disgusting creatures and we just create so much garbage, but there's something comforting. And I say, obviously, do not throw stuff on the floor. Of course not. I'm not saying it's a good thing. No. But from a poetic point of view, you're not the one loitering. But if you pass by an area where there is some garbage on the floor, you look at it, you might say, oh, why do people loiter? But there's also something weirdly comforting about it that makes you feel like, oh, I'm with human beings. There's other humans here, like I'm at home. It's such a strange feeling. That's Aromatics Elixir for me. I have a love-hate relationship with this one. It is a very, very complicated perfume to wear. It's beautiful, and it's not easy for me to wear this one. This one goes very bitter, dark places with me or on me, and but it reminds me of human nature. So It's comforting that it reminds me of human nature. It reminds me of who I am, after all, you know? It's a very grounding perfume. It grounds you. And so walking through a park while wearing this, it's a very special experience. Really, I highly recommend trying it. Just for the sake of understanding what I'm saying, this will connect you to man-made nature in a way like nothing else will. And it will just click like this, and you're going to be like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Aromatics elixir in a park. Mahora says, it has a character of its own. You don't wear aromatics elixir, it wears you. And this is why I say, you wear this and you are the park. You become the park. It's like it envelops you completely. You're not in control anymore. You know what I mean? You become one with it. It's a very visceral reaction. Beautiful to wear in the park. If you really have the strength, and if you're in the mood psychologically that day for that type of experience, then wear this. Otherwise, don't. Don't do it otherwise. Number 9 is the chillest of all of them. Easy, comforting, soothing. This is the one that you wear when you're going on a date in a park. This is the one you wear when you're holding hands and walking through the, the magic of spring has sprung. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. The soul is clean and ready to become dirty. But hormones are brewing, and you're just happy to be there with your darling, with your sweetheart. And you don't have any nasty intentions, Sexuality will happen because both of you want it. There's no need to lure somebody into anything. It's both of you feel the chemistry. And this perfume is just beautiful for that setting in a park. Cologne Blanche by Christian Dior. And I do have the Cologne concentration, the original, not the current eau de parfum version. So this is, I still have, because you can see, this is a 250 ml bottle. So I do have maybe, 100 ml left. What a beauty. And yes, back in the day, the 250 ml was a splash bottle. So beautiful. Magical, magical. This is the perfume of butterflies in the stomach. Love. Love in nature. What a way to walk through the park with your sweetheart and you wear this. It's just perfectly innocently beautiful. There's an innocence to this, but there's also maturity. It's mature. It's ripe. In other words, it's ripe and it's ready for the picking. But it's innocent at heart. Such a beauty. Great one. Great one. And now we come to the last one, number 10. Where is number 10? Guess what? You are already wearing it, so you don't need me to tell you what number 10 is. The best way, after all, to be in nature is to wear your own essential oil, your own hormonal balance, your own skin. That's my number 10. As they say, last but not least, well, more than that, actually, more than that. I kept it on purpose as last because ultimately, if you really want to be in nature and you want to walk through a park, the real magic begins when you start smelling everything around you, when you start absorbing all the smells around you of the cypress or whatever this digitally created thing is, of the tree, of the little pond, the little lake, the little water, the humming bumblebee bird, the wood of the bench that's maybe still wet because it rained, so there's that humidity. Maybe it's summer, the heat, and then there was a thunderstorm, and then after that rain has stopped, you have the petrichor smell in the air. All of that is enhanced when all you have on is your own skin, your own sweat, your own oils. They react, they're alive. They react, like they intercept and capture whatever's around you, enhance it, make you more aware, your senses. In other words, you become aware of the fact that you are an animal after all. And that's what a park is there for, isn't it? Man-made oasis in the middle of a city, mostly in the middle of a city, to give us some peace. Why does a park give us peace? Because we have a glimpse at the idea of how it is to be like our ancestors. We come on this world from animals. We are animal. And a park is a reminder of that. Our own senses are enhanced when we confront each other with nature. And parks are the first step towards nature, because after you abandon the park, if you don't go back to the city, you can actually enter a forest. Some forests are, well, most forests are touched by man, but some forests are not, where plants are just growing the way they grow. And you walk, you exit the park and enter the forest, and you are one with nature. That's your own smell. That's the perfume. That's the best perfume you can wear to a park. It's your own perfume. Other human beings will smell you subconsciously. The first thing we smell in another human being we encounter is not the perfume. It's not the perfume they're wearing, but it is indeed their own hormonal smell. And it's a subconscious smell that every human being, when we interact with another human being, that's the first thing we notice. That's the first, by the way, form of attraction that we feel. Our bodies tell us immediately if chemically we are compatible or not. If you can't smell well a person, and I'm not talking about perfumes, artificial synthetic perfumes, I'm talking about their own skin. Your body will tell you something is off. You're not a good match chemically. Same with nature. You will feel deep down inside if you are surrounded by the right nature or not. Because not everything's for everybody. And the less you have, the less noise, in this case perfumes are seen as noise, the less noise you have surrounding you that takes you away from that truth, the less you have that distraction, and the more you will be fine-tuned with nature in that moment. Just a thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those would be my top 10 perfumes to wear to a park. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Different topic than usual, isn't it? But there's so many different instances you see in which we can wear perfumes at. So I thought this would be a really beautiful next level of deciding how and where and what perfumes to wear in what setting and what scenario. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you like topics like these, so we can do more if you do. And maybe you have also your list of favorite perfumes to wear to a park. In case you do, let me know down below. Until next time, thumb up this video, subscribe, and never give up on love. Take care. Bye.